Right, good day. We're chatting once again about the I Am series, and I am real, authentic, and me. And I want to deep dive a little bit into an aspect that has confused a lot of people, is that I am, therefore I think, or I think, therefore I am. We can debate that one over a cup of coffee at a later stage. But today I've got a little task for you. I want to just, where you are there, close your eyes for a moment and spell the word. I'm going to give you a word to spell, and you need to spell it out quietly to yourself when I give it to you. And then I want you to think about what your body and mind and brain are doing. So ready, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Close your eyes and spell the word hippopotamus. Right. If you're still struggling, do not worry. We have a category for you. So there's a couple of things that happened to your brain when I asked you to do that. And we've kind of grouped them into a number of little categories. So the first thing is you just saw nothing. You closed your eyes and there was darkness. And somewhere in the line, in your brain, you were searching for this word hippopotamus. You might have been able to just read it off or spell it from memory, but it's not a word we type out because mostly we just say hippo. And then all of a sudden it's like rhino and rhinoceros. And we get confused in our brains as we go there. But everybody thinks differently, and this is what this exercise is all about. So the first category of people, you close your eyes and you see nothing, and it's okay. There's no level of class or a ladder up to success or anything. Then we get other people who would have closed their eyes and they would have clearly have seen the word hippopotamus. It might even have been in the hippo font if you're really creative. And you just read it off like HIPPOPOTAMO, and done. So what's the problem? And you are a different category of people. Then there are the more scientific type of people. You would have seen an image of an hippo, kind of like Wikipedia, kind of Google. Yeah, there's a hippopotamus and the names underneath it, the labels there. Down the side might have been habitat and all the stuff, food, reproduction cycles, where they live, then threats, all that sort of stuff. And that's okay as well. Then we have another category of people. Well, these are the people that might have seen a little fluffy toy related to their childhood. Maybe that little one from the adverts on TV. And you kind of look and go, oh, it's such a cute hippo. Yeah, that's it. And you might have got HIPPO because that's all your brain is able, because, yeah, look how cute that is. And it's such a cute little fluffy. And that's okay. And then there's this other category of people that when I mentioned hippo, they would have kind of closed their eyes and they would have started this movie scene in the Serengeti. And it would have kind of started and it would have beautiful sunset and there's a river and there's hippos playing in the river and oh look, there's birds and there's a couple of warthogs running on the bank and oh look, it's so nice, I can feel the sun on my back, and you forgot all about the task at hand. And that is okay as well, because we all think differently. And much the same as sweets in a sweetie jar, we all have our own flavors, we all have our own cosmic makeup, and we process that completely different. Now, I just want to pause here, because how often have you been in a room where you've sat down and you go, well, hang on, why am I being squeezed into this cookie cutter? Why is a person who's holding the whiteboard pen at the flip chart dictating how I should think based on his natural instincts? And that is exactly what happens in most corporate brainstorming sessions. It is really an autocratic process led by the guy holding the pen. And I've always, funny days, just give me the pen and I'll do this correctly, is probably the underlying thoughts amongst quite a lot of the people in the room. But we think differently by design, because if we all thought the same thing, innovation just wouldn't happen. and we wouldn't get there, and we would be driving around in circles, not being able to get out of the car park because we need different skills. So what I've done is I've put together a couple of thinking skills, and we call these the 7 thinking styles, and each one. Now, you might have learned about the learning styles, or the thinking hats might be something that you go, yeah, they're kind of related, but they're slightly different, and you'll see. So as we go through each of them without the assessment, which I'm going to give you at a later stage, you can maybe find out where you naturally are aligned. Now, we don't just have one, we have a order of 1 to 7 and various levels of natural thinking styles from 1 to 7. So you might have absolutely zero ability in one and 80% in the other. And there again, it's okay. We are not here to judge, we're here to inform and educate. So let's go through them individually. We have our thinking style of logical and numerical. Well, a good litmus test, if Excel is open on your laptop right now, that's probably where you are sitting. You think logically, you think numerically, you want rules, you want 1, 2, 3, and 4s, and you want to be able to number things, sort things, and digest things. These people are really good for a whole bunch of things and not so good for others as of the other categories. So that's our Excel spreadsheet category people. We then have the creative thinking. So if you've got Adobe Paint open on your laptop somewhere and you are drawing, if you are doodling in the corner of your page while you're watching this, or if you flip back to the pieces of paper all over your desk and they've got little sketches and drawings and little blocks and, happy faces and stuff, this is definitely where you sit. And you can see these types of people are really good for new concepts, new ideas. Might not be able to do the maths around them, but this is awesome as the spearhead for innovation. These are our creatives. I love the paint splashed all over her shirt. It's real indication of where we are. I have family members who fall into this category. Then we go on to the musical. Now this one is me. I score 0 here. So this is so foreign to me. I do not like to think with music. I do not play music when I'm around. The radios stay off in our house. If Suno is open on your laptop at the moment, then this is you. You are thinking, you humming, you might have music playing in the background. You might have your earphones plugged into some radio station or music that you're playing, and you developed your own playlist. These are really good for harmonies and kind of logical thinking in blocks of work and finding the rhythm within life. Musical people are very intriguing to me because they're so foreign, and I watch them with great interest, like watching hippos at the waterhole. I love people who can play musical instruments naturally because it intrigues me so much because it's so far out of my comfort zone. Then we have the visual people. Well, if you like to watch Netflix and you are designing things and you've got kind of Adobe Design open or a CAD open on your laptop at the moment, then this is you. You love to see things. You see things spatially, which is a concept where, funnily enough, a lot of women do not have. And men see things in 3D far better than women. And I've always wondered why. But it's just one of those, I don't know, what's it, Mars and Venus things that we've got to understand. Not saying that women cannot see in 3D. Do not quote me. It's just a percentage thing. So we get a lot of kind of visual designers and kind of architects drawing plans, that sort of stuff. A visual person will be able to look at a flat design and then see the building in 3D rotating in front of them naturally, which is a very important skill. The thinking style of social, well, if you've got WhatsApp and you're making calls and you like Zoom calls and you can't wait for the next coffee networking meeting, then this is you. You are engaging with people. You'd rather sit and think by talking and over a good cup of coffee, cup of tea, glass of wine, case of beer, whatever it is. But the idea of being able to think through issues while talking is incredibly important to you. If you find yourself frustrating because you're not allowed to talk, then this is the perfect idea. School for these people would have been absolutely terrible, having to sit on your hands and be quiet for hours on end is absolutely torture for a social person, because all they want to do is sit and chat and share and think out aloud. And then we have the verbal people. These are the people that like to read, write. Language is a natural thing. Someone like this will naturally know a couple of languages, being able to learn a language just for fun. Again, I score probably 2 out of 10 for this one. Very foreign. Even though I write a lot, it's more a mathematical, logical writing rather than a creative writing. But people here are very good. These are the guys you want up front in your presentation, your pitch masters. These is a great skill to be able to articulate your thoughts in clear communication in both writing and speaking. And then lastly, we have the reflective thinking style. This is the person that doesn't have their laptop open. They're sitting there maybe playing with a stress ball or a fidget of some sorts and are thinking, contemplating. But they are sitting in the sun, contemplating your navel, deep in thought. And this is definitely one of my top skills. I love to be alone and thinking, but I also like to be with other people and talking. So it is an interesting area for that. So hopefully you found out where your thinking style is. If you're unsure, well, I've got good news for you. Here is a QR code that you can scan. If you're watching this video, just press pause, scan it, quickly do the assessment. It'll take you 3 or 4 minutes to do. It's not a scientific assessment. It's more a kind of a fun review, but it'll give you a good indication of where you're at and what your thinking styles look like and where you can fit in. It's really good to do this with your team, because if you're a quiet thinker and everyone else is a verbal thinker, guess what? You've got to excuse yourself from the room while they nat and chat and decide while you're thinking alone, be able to do that. So in allowing everybody else to think in their creative style is what we're all about. And this is just a snippet of what we've got in our Black Belt Extreme Thinking series, that we help people think better, think smarter, to become more of who you need to be to secure the future that you deserve. And my name is Bruce Wade. That is me. You can scan that QR code to load my information onto your phone, and you can then get hold of me that way. I'd love to have a cup of coffee or a virtual chat with you if you've got any things to add, or if you don't agree with what I've said. Always happy to have a constructive conversation with anyone. Good. Until next time. Cheers.